It's spring, so it's finally time to be outside again and just enjoy nature. And one of my favorite things to do is to find ways to merge my time outside with any kind of fitness. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm kind of OCD about making sure I break a sweat every single day, so this morning I just sort of decided to play basketball, which I hadn't done in a while. Now, because I hadn't played basketball in a while, I was able to have a realization. I observed something that I hadn't noticed before, and it was probably because I used to take it for granted when I used to play a lot of basketball. In middle school and high school, I loved basketball. And what I realized was that I was extremely present, wholeheartedly focused, without ever really realizing that I was focused. Sure, I missed some shots, which was frustrating, but there's nothing more satisfying than hitting all net and feeling like you're getting better as you shoot more and more. And as a result, I think I was in what psychologists call a flow state. Now, the term flow state originally comes from the video game world. A flow state is that intense state of focus and a crisp sense of clarity that you get when you forget yourself, you lose track of time, and maybe even you feel like you're part of something bigger. If you're an athlete, a musician, an artist, a scientist, or whatever, if you just love your craft, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And that flow state is part of what makes these things so enjoyable. I think video games are a great place to start this conversation because unlike sports or art, video games are deliberately designed to get players into flow states. And what we can learn from video games and from the science that they're based off of is that there are 4 elements that are necessary to get people into flow states, which are clear goals, no distractions, direct feedback, and the most important one, continuous challenges. Now that last one, continuous challenges, is the most interesting one because if we feel too frustrated, what happens is we'll check out and we'll stop playing and we'll pursue a more rewarding activity instead. So we should make the games easy, right? Well, not so fast. Because without a challenge, if a game feels too easy, what happens is we begin to feel bored. And because we don't actually feel like we're earning our gains, we don't feel like we've earned the level up, our minds will once again switch to something that's more rewarding. So rewards and actually the enjoyment of video games sort of operate at this sweet spot of too easy and too difficult and have to be right in the middle to get people into flow states. Oh, and it just so happens that we're actually the most creative when we're in flow states because the part of our brain that's responsible for self-editing actually goes dim. So the part of us that sort of tries to censor ourselves, to filter what we say and what we do, gives rise to the powerful subconscious mind. We literally lose ourselves. And in a way, we actually go unconscious and just open the floodgates of creativity. So if something is too hard, what we end up doing is checking out. And if something is too easy, well, we also check out. We end up doing the exact same thing. We love to be challenged, and we actually feel an immense sense of pleasure when we make some sort of progress. And part of the reason why video games have such clear levels is because that progress is so straightforward. And life isn't always like that sometimes, which might explain why so many people are actually addicted to video games. Video games provide an ongoing series of both challenges and satisfaction. They bring players into flow states by taking them on a journey and by balancing them between frustration and satisfaction, which is exactly how I felt shooting hoops this morning.
Go.